Hey guys, Randy here. Randy Sits Golf. Welcome to the channel. Hey, today I've been working on a couple things. I've always been kind of a student of Ben Hogan, his swing, his principles. Just trying to read his book and stuff, so gleaned what I could from that. And then I stumbled upon John Erickson. He was an older PGA professional or tour player from back in the day. Mac O'Grady and all those guys. So he has a YouTube channel called Advanced Ball Striking, and he also has some courses you can sign up, some modules, and actually a Ben Hogan module. But he has a lot of stuff out on YouTube that's demonstrating and showing what Ben Hogan was doing in his swing that I find highly interesting. And it goes against a lot of the teachings today, and I think part of the problem is we get wrapped up in what's current teaching, where some of the greatest ball strikers that we've ever had, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Ben Hogan, guys like that, they basically owned Mo Norman. They owned their own swing. That's what made them great, their swing. So Ben Hogan, came back with a cupped wrist, which, all modern technology today and all the teachers out there say we have to come up here and we have to do this to square the club up, right? But Ben Hogan said cup wrist was fine. Now when he took the club back kind of flat. His left arm was shoulder level. He wasn't like this or like this, but he was more here, right? And when he would fire into the ball, he would laterally shift. So he had room here for what they call the 430 line. So he was able to shift and then come in here at this 430. And when you get about right in here, to hold shaft lean back in the day, they didn't drag the handle. They held shaft lean by right at the last minute, boom, right in here. They're actively, not passively, actively moving their wrist from here to here at that last second, because that's holding that shaft lean right until the last before they rotate that hand. And they don't rotate it past there. They don't rotate the club all the way over here. When they get done, their club is facing this way. Their club isn't facing like this, and their club isn't facing like this here. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting that, heck, the way I started swinging the club with the cupped wrist was just kind of my natural, how my wrist and my body work. And then come to find out, Fred Couples, he does the same thing. So all these guys had great careers playing golf. And I'm a 5 handicap, but I've been spinning my wheels trying to find the perfect golf swing, which for me, I think is Ben Hogan's swing and just modified to me the best I can. So one of the things that John talks about is a wider stance. Now, to be fair, when you learn John's technique or Ben Hogan's swing technique, they were swinging persimmon woods back in the day, which weighed about 16 ounces. Heavy clubs, which enabled them to move their whole body and use their whole body, so they could feel what the club was. Even the irons, and they were quite flat. I think their drivers were like 48 degrees, and Ben Hogan was 6 degrees flatter or more. But they played a flatter club, and what I found really interesting with that was the flatter the club, the less potential you have of hitting the ball left and right. So let's think about that real quick. So this is my club shaft, and this is my club. And we'll say, it's like that. I can see if I can do it like that. So if that's my shaft, so any movement I do, because it's a more upright, with my hands this way, that's closing the club face, which is going to make the ball go left. If I go this way, I'm opening the club face. But the flatter the club gets, the flatter, if this is bent down flatter, so now if that's flat, when I move my club, my hand this way, the club does that. Closes, it de-lofts my club, and if I open my hand, it adds loft. So now I'm really just moving trajectory more up or down than I'm moving left and right, which allowed those guys to have fewer misses, tighter dispersions. So thought that was interesting, worth noting. I have not bent my club yet, but I do like playing with the concepts of that since I naturally cup, and I've been trying to do all these things to uncup it, and it's just, man, it's just a nightmare for me. So I'm gonna try a couple of these shots, a little wider stance. Oh, and the other thing is we place the ball more in the back of our stance. So the thought there is, so this is my normal setup, maybe with my 8-iron. This is where I would normally put it. Okay. Well, now it's going to be more here. Okay. So, and what that's going to do is as I rotate around, let's see if I can show you. So if I'm here, now I'm going to take my backswing. Okay. I'm going to rotate. All right. So now I'm going to rotate to my backswing. And now when I move forward, I have all this room to drop my club here into that 430 line and snap through the ball with a slightly open club face, not much, but coming inside to out, hitting these nice little draws. So let's see if I can do one again. And I set up with the club face slightly open to the ball. All right, I got the club, the ball slightly in the back of my stance. Here we go. Now I push it out to the right. All right, let me try it again. Beautiful little draw, 161 carry, 8-iron, 83 mile an hour club head speed, 112 ball speed. So the other thing with the Ben Hogan model is they don't swing like this. They swing more around your body because you're using your body to swing the club, because their clubs are heavier and not just using your arm. So there's not a whole lot of tilt. Plus, the flatter the swing, the longer you're able to keep the club going toward the target, and the steeper you are, the less time you have to line the club up and keep it on target. Let's see if we can hit another one. So that ball is about 2 balls from center back is where I have it right now. A good little draw, nice little draw. So yeah, I'm really happy with stumbling upon John Erickson, and man, if you like watching YouTube and looking at different golf swings, and I just find it fascinating trying to break it down and find a swing that fits me and how I swing, and tired of going to fitters and trying to make me swing like Roy or coaches, and they want me to swing like Rory, or they put me up next to Adam Scott. Look, dudes, I'm not those guys. I can't get in those positions. I'm 62 years old. This is what I do naturally. How about we find a golfer that swung the club similar to the way I'm swinging it now, and let's tweak it. But that doesn't seem to be how we teach right now. It seems like if you're a golf instructor, you have one method you try to teach, and then you try to fit as many people as you can into that peg hole. Instead of, this is where I really like the Titleist Institutes, where they put you through all the movements to see what your deficits are, what your limitations are. So then they could build a swing based on your limitations. That makes way more sense to me. I mean, I get there are some things that you just have to do in golf to get in good positions and to hit the ball well. But aside from that, there are some things that you can do during the golf swing to accommodate any deficits you have. And I think the right instructor, honestly, is those that can adapt to what disabilities that you have going on and fix your golf swing that way. So all right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, and look forward to seeing you next time.